Incoming call. Lexi Suladov.
This is a low-budget film, but it's pure sci-fi.
Status.
There's planets, and there's different aliens, and there's robots, and there's other robots that do other things that these ones don't do. And
most films of this budget are solid dramas, you know, because of this kind of price tag. You can't have this kind of cool stuff, usually. You only can have two people talking in a room. This picture is ambitious in that way, and they've found ways around every limitation, so it's very unique. Independent sci-fi is almost a genre that does not exist. So this movie is incredibly unique. There is movie studio bankrolled kind of sci-fi, you know, and pretty much nothing else. This pure sci-fi with big high-tech concepts and an hour, you know, and a half running time is almost unheard of in independent film. So that's a lot of what attracted me to it.
I've never done a sci-fi movie. I have actually done a lot more theater than I have done film, and of the films I've done, none of them have been sci-fi. I am a bit of a girl when it comes to that. If I'm watching a sci-fi movie, sometimes I have to kind of stop and say, hang on a second, so what? He said, I'm confused. And I get a little kind of not sure what's going on. So when I got this script, I read it a few times because it's not the kind of script I'm used to.
You are being protected by a force field. You are free to answer the following questions truthfully.
Every day I walk on set, I say to myself,
Off-world by force.
how are they going to get this movie made with only these sets? But they're shooting it in such a way that it's almost impossible to do wrong. It's a rather arty sci-fi film, and that's a trick. So those have been fun, cool things, you know.
My name's Clare Stevenson. I am playing the character of Aurora. She's kind of a searching alien. She doesn't know exactly where she's from. She's trying to figure that out, actually. That's kind of one of the things that is her kind of goal in the movie, is to find out where the hell she's from. She has this ability to perfectly imitate and mimic someone that she is in the vicinity of.
We will endeavor to provide you with the worker you desire, Citizen Harkness.
I'm sure you will succeed in that.
Which is a great weapon for the Claduthi, the kind of vampire characters. They want to have her as a vampire, like convert her to a Claduthi so that she can be like the best weapon they could have, because Aurora can blend into any situation. In fact, that's what she's been doing her whole life. That's why she doesn't really know who she is.
Well, I've mostly only worked with Clare Stevenson. It's the first time I worked with her. Very good actress. She's, you know, quite a pistol. Very well trained and really disciplined, and so it's been great. I mean, she only hit me twice, but I didn't really find out why. She hits everybody once in a while. It's good. She's got a good rate.
Ted's a lot of fun. He's hysterically funny, so you know he's good for a laugh, if nothing else. You know.
Pilot input required.
Oh, small ship. I play August Keene. That's Professor August Keene. He's this interplanetary archaeologist, which is interesting. Which I think because in the future, they don't know what happened in the past still.
The other good thing about Ted is that he's a really good person to play pool with, because he sucks. He he's so bad. And you know when you play pool with someone and they say, oh, you know, just to warn you, I'm a really bad player, and you think, yeah, you're just setting me up so you can, like, shock me to the end and everything. Well, when Ted says that, he actually means it. He does suck. It's really bad.
Dr. Keene is an archaeologist who finds our hero, Aurora, on this planet. He was just pretty much looking for artifacts and finds her passed out, takes her around. He becomes sort of a strange kind of a chauffeur to her. And not really, certainly not her mentor, but he thinks he's going to be, but he winds up learning a lot from her and getting into all kinds of crazy adventures with very, very bad aliens.
Honestly, he's the most generous actor. He's so kind. He's very present, and he's very involved in what you're doing, even if it's not his take, you know, and he's very aware of, and he gives you a lot. He doesn't just kind of, you know, check out because it's not his thing. It's great to work with actors like that. Why do I keep wanting to do that?
Because you're mimicking me.
He's just very, he's very sweet, I guess. Just generous, very generous. And a lot of fun, hysterically funny. And I mean, if you can't have a good laugh on the set, then it can get to be kind of a miserable experience. You need to be able to just have a good laugh.
Yeah, the atmosphere on set is it's a great deal of fun. It's the smallest crew I've ever worked with in my entire life. But every one of them is incredibly talented.
A lot of people are doing a lot of people's jobs. So, you know, the guy who's doing the sound, Tony, is also kind of bringing me my sweater when it's cold and stuff like that. It's not like a big set where everyone's got their specific thing that they do.
The first day I was shooting, there was 4 people were there, including myself, and I asked the director, Andrew, I said, where's the rest of the crew? He said, what are you talking about? This is the rest of the crew. You're looking at them. It
just makes for an environment where you can just walk up, everyone's friends, everybody's, no pressure, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
I suppose the only problem I ever had with this is the director, Andrew, who's you know, I mean, he's a really good director, but, you know, around 11 o'clock he starts hitting the sauce, and by 1 o'clock, you know, he's inconsolable. He starts sobbing and crying behind the camera, and then a couple times he smashed the setup with, you know, some props, some alien props such as this, so that was a little difficult. But once we got past that, it was okay. Well, you know, it's now that we're not rolling camera anymore, I can tell you that you know, it's just kind of embarrassing, really. You know, that's the one thing I think all of us in the cast and crew sort of felt like, you know, we're just embarrassed for the director. Just, you know, and then he got in his car once. He was really furious one day. He said, "You can all go hang by the wires on my set for all I care." He drove off, and we didn't see him. And then the cops brought him back about 2 hours later. Assault, I think they said.
Drew's jazz hands.
Glad that's over.